Now that the pork loin has been cut, has been stuffed, we can wrap it with bacon. In order to wrap it, first I'm going to place it on a piece of wax paper because I think that's going to be easier to work with. Actually, I will lay out the bacon first and then transfer the pork loin to the bacon. First, we'll take the bacon and our sheet of wax paper. Lay this out. Now, when you're selecting bacon, you want to find bacon that has very thick sections of meat as well as some of the fat. This bacon looks okay. As much as possible, you want to find bacon that alternates between the meat and the fat so that there's several ribbons, both of the meat and the fat next to each other, so that it doesn't shrink up too much while it's cooking, but it also is going to keep the rest of the pork loin moist and have plenty of bacon flavor, which would be wonderful. We have several options now when we are wrapping the loin with bacon. One thing we can do is to just wrap the bacon straight around, and that works perfectly well. Something that's a little bit better and has a certain visual appeal to it is to instead weave the bacon into sort of a net and then lay that on the pork loin. Once that's done cooking, it looks fantastic. It gives just a little bit of extra appeal to the pork loin and shows that some extra effort went into it. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to lay out this first layer. I can get the bacon to separate. Now I'm laying out these pieces and I'm alternating the direction that they go, because typically you'll see a big fatty end on each piece of bacon, so you don't want all those fat ends to lay up next to each other. You want to alternate them back and forth so that they're equally moisturizing the pork loin as it cooks. We'll get these straightened out. Now, usually when people are buying bacon, they look at the ends of the bacon in the package. The manufacturer does that on purpose. If you look at this one, it looks like there's just a lot of meat to it. What you have to do is you have to look at the back of the package, and that'll show you what a few of the pieces actually look like. And you can see on this piece, for example, that we have big sections of meat with some layers of fat mixed in. Now I've got a good first layer. I'm going to begin to weave the next layer back and forth in order to make our bacon net. Ends of these pieces seem to be falling apart a lot here, but it'll taste great all the same. Now, lay this piece across and alternate over, under, of course. alternate again. Now let's see, this piece needs to go underneath here. Lay this one down. So you can see the woven sections are coming together. Once this bakes, it'll look beautiful. Once it's golden and it's wrapped around that pork loin, it'll give just a very special effect. Whoever it is that you serve this to will be able to tell that you put a lot of extra effort into it. Now we have our bacon net laid out and it's all ready. So what I'm going to do next is I will transfer the loin from the pan that it's in onto this bacon net. Now, again, I have some more options. I could lay the loin just end to end and squarely wrap the bacon net around it. But again, we're going to go for that extra effort and that extra visual appeal. So instead, what I'm going to do is to lay it diagonally across the net. Just like that. Get the rest of this spinach back in there. And then, because I used the wax paper to lay the net out on, I can very easily finish wrapping the net around the loin and put it back into the tray. Let me wash my hands real quick. Wax paper, I can just fold the bacon around. I promise I practiced this. It's not going the same as it did before. Now, lay it into the tray. Massage it a little bit to get it to lay out just right, and pull the wax paper out from underneath. Take a little TLC to get pork loin arranged correctly. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now that the pork loin is set, it's ready to go into the oven. I have preheated my oven at 320 25 degrees. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this into the oven, and we'll check back on it in an hour.